She was intoxicated when she admitted it. The words came out in a slurred whisper, but they were clear enough to slice through me like a blade. "I was never attracted to you, and I can't stop seeing other men." Then, just like that, she passed out. No remorse, no hesitation. As I stood there staring at her unconscious form, I made my decision. By sunrise, I was gone. No notes, no goodbyes. My name's Marcus, and for most of my life, I believed in the power of persistence. Hard work could fix almost anything. That was the principle I had lived by. It shaped my entire life, especially my marriage. I dedicated myself to my career as an engineer, pushing through long hours, meeting deadlines, and climbing the ranks. I had convinced myself that all of it was for us, for our future. The grueling hours, the exhaustion, the missed anniversaries. I thought it was all worth it. If I just provided enough, she would understand. She would see the sacrifices I was making and love me all the more for it. But love isn't built on effort alone. I learned that the hard way. I had met Claire during a business trip to Toronto. She was vibrant, full of life, and had a laugh that could light up a room. We were drawn to each other instantly, and within a year, we were married. The first year was beautiful. We traveled, spent late nights talking about our dreams, and built a home together. But as time passed, the weight of responsibility settled in. I threw myself into my work, believing that financial security was the foundation of a good marriage. She, on the other hand, sought something else, something I couldn't provide. The distance between us grew gradually, like a slow leak in a dam. At first I ignored it, convincing myself that all relationships go through phases. When she became more withdrawn, I assumed she was stressed. When our conversations turned into mere exchanges of routine, I told myself it was normal. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. I just didn't want to face it. One evening, determined to bridge the growing chasm, I planned a special dinner. I left work early, cooked her favorite meal, salmon with lemon butter sauce and roasted vegetables, and set the table with candles. It was my way of saying, "I see you. I miss you." When she walked through the door, she looked surprised. For a moment I thought I saw a flicker of warmth in her eyes, but it was gone as quickly as it came. We ate, we talked, and for the first time in months, she laughed. Hope swelled in my chest. Maybe this was it. Maybe we could fix what was broken. But after her third glass of wine, her tongue loosened. Her words came out without caution, without restraint. She told me the truth I had been too afraid to admit to myself. She had never been drawn to me, not in the way a wife should be to her husband. She stayed with me because I was reliable, safe. But her desires, her real wants, had led her elsewhere. And then she admitted it. She had been with someone else, someone who fit her definition of excitement. The revelation didn't come with tears or apologies. It was just a statement, a careless confession that left me hollow. I didn't rage, didn't demand explanations. I simply listened as she unraveled every illusion I had clung to. That night, as she slept soundly beside me, I realized there was no point in staying. No amount of effort could change what she wanted. So I did the only thing that made sense. I left. By the time the city stirred awake, I was already gone. I moved swiftly, ensuring there was no loose end. My first call was to my lawyer, instructing him to prepare the divorce papers. The second was to my financial advisor, severing all financial ties and reclaiming what was mine. Lastly, I reached out to family and close friends, making it clear that she was no longer a part of my life and that I wanted no messages, no updates, no sympathy. I wanted a clean break. The divorce papers reached her within weeks. At first, she ignored them. Then she tried reaching out. Calls, messages, even showing up at places she thought I'd be. I remained silent. She hesitated to sign, perhaps clinging to the stability I once provided, but when she realized there was nothing left to hold on to, she relented. The settlement left her comfortable. A final courtesy I extended not for her sake, but for my own peace. She had her freedom now, the very thing she craved. And she embraced it. Nights out, lavish shopping sprees, new men. At first, she seemed to be thriving, living the life she thought she wanted. But reality has a way of catching up with people who live only for the moment. I found out through mutual acquaintances that she had gotten pregnant. The father? Gone the moment she told him. No calls, no texts, just vanished. She was left alone to navigate a life she wasn't prepared for. The money, which she once burned through so recklessly, dried up fast. She was forced to sell our old house, the last piece of the life we had shared. Friends who once surrounded her disappeared when she needed them most. The glamour, the excitement, it all faded. I didn't feel sorry for her. I didn't feel anything at all. She had made her choices, and she was living with them. Some people think freedom means escaping responsibility. But life doesn't work that way. Years passed, and I rebuilt. Not in some grand, dramatic way, but in quiet, deliberate steps. I found peace, a kind of stability that wasn't reliant on someone else's validation. Then one day she found me. I had just returned home from an evening run when the doorbell rang. Opening it, I saw her standing there. She looked the same, put together, confident, but her eyes held a desperation I had never seen before. She told me she had been searching for me for years, that she regretted everything, that she had made a mistake, that she needed me. She spoke of her struggles, her loneliness, her regrets. And then, through teary eyes, she whispered, "I never stopped needing you." I looked at her for a long moment, then simply said, "You made your choice." My voice was calm, detached. "You were never attracted to me, remember? I wasn't your type. So go find your type and see if he wants you now." She flinched, as if my words had physically struck her. I didn't wait for her response. I closed the door and walked away, feeling nothing but certainty. Losing her had been painful. The betrayal had shattered me, but walking away had given me something far more valuable than anything she could ever offer. Myself. And that, I realized, was the only closure I would ever need. If you ever find yourself in a situation where someone doesn't value you, don't waste your time trying to convince them of your worth. People treat you the way you allow them to. If they betray you once, they will do it again. Walking away isn't easy. It's painful, messy, and lonely at first. But trust me when I say this. Being alone is far better than being with someone who makes you feel like you're not enough. And when you finally leave, you open yourself up to something better, even if that better is just peace within yourself. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you for watching.